Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rafal. I am Chief Security Officer at Onet. If you are Polish origin, you probably have heard about our company because we are one of the major electronic media company in Poland. Onet consists of several companies, and I have to mention here another company which is part of a Onet called DreamLab, because DreamLab is our software house, so everywhere I mention something about IT technology, well, you can be sure that it was developed by our sister company called DreamLab. As you know, we, as a company operating on this electronic media market, what we do, we deliver sites and services to users. Basically, some of these sites are free, some of these sites are paid. And basically, you can say that online information is our business. However you would look at what we deliver information. We deliver information in a form of electronic news in the internet. We deliver information from one user to another user. We deliver free electronic mail service. We deliver video on demand. And also, where our income comes from, they are online ads. As you can imagine, these free sites with news are visited by many people in Poland, and in the same time, on these sites you can see some adverts which we are paid for. So, information is everywhere. It has a different shape, but still it has to be available, it has to be integral and confidential. So, we have to keep this information secure. It's very obvious to say that, and it's not obvious to keep our operation secure. I would give you several figures showing the scale of the operation. Onet provides supplies to the end users about 2.6 billion page views a month. Well, our free electronic email receives and sends 1,000 emails per second. This is on average. We were able to serve 100,000 parallel HD quality video streams at the same time, and we serve more or less 5 million HD streams per month. Because users are generating some data, especially most of this data is stored in this free electronic email, we also process 3 petabytes of data. Our data is, let's say, minority of these 3 petabytes of data being processed in our data centers. Our 2 data centers, located in Kraków, they have 4.5 megawatt of IT power, which means we can, in theory, attach 4.5 megawatt of power-consuming servers and other devices, and also take away this amount of heat this infrastructure produces. What is our challenge, being a public services supplier, is that we are challenged by cyber attacks, we are challenged by DDoS attacks, and we are also challenged by Polish regulations concerning like personal data processing, which are one of the strictest in Europe, I would say, in the world. So many things you cannot do with the people's data. How to secure our operations. I'm very sorry for, oh, I didn't know that it's going to be so dark. It says redundancy there at the top. Well, so how we did this, how we managed to keep things running. So we decided that we have to classify in somehow these bits and pieces which are part of the whole system. But to be sure what is more or less important for us, what gives us more or less money or more or less trouble, we issued and then applied these 3 types of classification for the sites or services. What is the difference? For example, our main site, strona główna, is called the site, but in many cases it has a link to a video content, and streaming video is a service which is also very important because video is shared across the whole many different sites we are providing. For us, very important is to be online, which means the availability of the service is crucial. Here, where it's black, it says, I would say what? RY, and here is C. So, these figures, or these acronyms, stands for classes. So we say that the main page of Onet, which is kind of the first choice of our users, it has class BA. What means BA, LH, and RY? Somebody, I'm not pretty sure who, told us that why don't we switch our services, divide them, and classify them like class of the airline. So BA stands for British Airways, Lufthansa stands for LH for Lufthansa, and RY for Ryanair. So we classified that something is very classy, medium classy, and let's say budget classy, because Ryanair will take me to the court if I say something more offensive. And because some sites or services are processing data which are important, like transactional data, private users' data, or users' personal data, which are protected by law in Poland, we also issued a combination of integrity and confidentiality classes called ABC. Red means the highest, black should be gray, is the lowest. Example, electronic mail, free electronic mail. There is several millions of users being active, and they keep process their own personal information and also private information. So our free electronic mail is classified for availability as BA and for integrity and confidentiality as A as well. But on top of that, we understood one day that to face issues with disaster recovery and business continuity planning, we have to apply another class. Because some parts of our sites and services are more money and, let's say, money and equipment infrastructure consuming, so we could not provide, for example, the highest business continuity class for electronic free mail. We can do it for the paid, let's say, division of our electronic mail, not for the free one. So we also issued these classes which are concerning business continuity, and 5 means there is a full business continuity on certain site or service. 1 means if it stops because like server burns down or somebody is just hacked it to death, basically, maybe it was the highest time to end life of this site. And having this, let's say, I would say simple, I don't know how it looks for you, classification, and we looked at the whole portfolio we started to think, what is the most important part? I mean, which part of our everyday business processes are crucial for us? So we checked, I'm sorry for the black arrow, that IT infrastructure, if it's down or if it's not available, if it's not basically in operation, it gives us the highest impact to our sites and services, and it also the highest possibility that it's going to happen, because everybody knows that from time to time the equipment just basically fails. The second part of the whole system is people. But looking at our cases, we already faced before, because we had two small, let's say, business continuity issues in our history. We understood that people, they give only, not available or not present in the crisis situation, it gives only medium probability to have the severe issue on the whole business, and it's also medium possible that it's going to happen, that we're going to lose these people in some accident, or they will not be able to work for us at this very moment. And the last part we took into account was the supply chain. So how we depend on the supply chain of goods. So excluding power or diesel oil, diesel fuel, and internet connections, we actually do not need anything else. If internet works, if the power is there, or we have the diesel fuel, we can run basically forever. So it could be a problem with if there is no power or no fuel to the engines. And planning how to mitigate the highest risk we faced, which was the problem, potential problem with the IT infrastructure, we decided to make this infrastructure redundant. We, first of all, created divided sites and services between two data centers. It's obvious it's a primary data center and a secondary data center, yellow and dark blue rounded square. The size of a square could tell the size of the data center, basically. They are kind of to give you the view how big they are concerning each other. And also, because we faced many problems inside our own technology, which was mainly developed by DreamLab, our software house company, we also decided that some technologies concerning cloud-related technologies going to be used inside our infrastructure. So we created so-called Onet private cloud. And slowly, but carefully, we are porting our services, our sites in a group, because we are also, I forgot to mention at the very beginning, that we are now part of Ringer Axel Springer AG company, which owns us, and we are working in a one big group, serving also different companies related to Ringer Axel Springer in this electronic media world. So coming back quickly to Onet private cloud, we carefully switching from the old solutions to the new solutions based on our cloud. We created our cloud services to be runnable from an Amazon cloud, because we even thought about the kind of disaster which could take off both of our data centers. So we are one of probably the biggest, if we are fully operating from Amazon Cloud users in Poland. I mean, as a standby now, there is only 1% of our page views is being served from Amazon Cloud, and we keep replicating data all the time. In case of the disaster, where the primary and secondary site is not available, or some services from primary site is not available, we can switch to Amazon Cloud, and the end user will not even know that we are serving this from Amazon Cloud. Of course, serving Onet from Amazon Cloud is pretty expensive. So we just keep the, let's say, a nucleus of our top sites. And then if there is a trouble with the primary data center, we tell Amazon Cloud to inflate itself and to intake more and more traffic from users. And what we've done, that's what I more or less said. We not only, what I'm saying here is not only the theory which was planned, it is tested. So we do a small disaster recovery test daily. We serve this 1% from Amazon Cloud all the time, switching to different services. The big business continuity tests are performed every quarter, and this is a heavy test. We're switching off the main data center, and we watch the cloud grow. As you know, it's always these details, so from time to time, we are discovering different issues. For example, you know, the instances in Amazon Cloud. It's not easy recently to ask for as many as you want. And Amazon doesn't have a policy that we can claim that we are the big player and we can have as much as we want. So, for example, we had some problems with instances available to grow. We have some problems with VPN channels, for example, because the traffic was growing, and so on and so on. So during the test, when we really do this test every quarter, we serve our top. I would say it's possible that we're going to serve 75% of our sites from the Amazon Cloud. The rest 30% is, I would say, not important, and even if we lose it, basically because, I don't know, President Putin dropped a 4-megaton bomb on Krakow, probably Onet will be served from Amazon Cloud, but I don't know whether there would be anybody interested in reading what's happening in Krakow. Most people would like to know how to run away from Krakow, probably. I mean, all I said looks pretty simple, but as I said, the details are these details are always making a big trouble. So I would tell you about several things we use, which in our practice gave us some well, it showed basically that without a good management tools to solve the situation where your company is in smaller or bigger crisis, would be very difficult if you don't have several supporting tools ready, tested, and in operation. First of all, we had a piece of paper. Oh, it's not a piece of paper, it's an electronic document called Crisis Management Policy, which is approved by the board and announced to the people who are involved in potential disaster recovery or business continuity crisis situation along the company. And it's simple. It says who can lead crisis management mode, because we have two modes. It's a normal operation mode and crisis management mode. So it's clearly written there when to switch from one mode to another, including how long the sites are down, and so on and so on. And also, it has some passages which are saying that no matter what the people leading, managing the crisis situation says, the board can always say there is no crisis management situation anymore, we're switching back to the normal operations. Why is that been done? To avoid the Valkyria case. What if somebody who is on the list, potential leaders of the crisis management situation, overtakes power in the company, says this and that is critical, okay, so we're running in a crisis mode and you board have nothing to say. I will do whatever I want. I will buy whatever I want, I will sell whatever I want, and so on and so on. So we also stated there how to stop this insanity of somebody being done. Of course, there are Polish regulations which are saying that only certain people which are stated in KRS can sell company, for example, but you can do many damage to the company giving people orders. And people think that somebody who is running the crisis management mode has a power of attorney to do anything, and they know that they have to listen to its orders, I would say. So that's the one tool, which is paper, basically. Another tool is something called SOJA, which is System Obsługi Incydentów i Awarii in Polish. It's an SMS-based incident management information. We noticed that it's very important to spread the information across the company, and depending on the severity of the issue, different groups of people are alerted. Why we use SMS channel? Because SMS channel dies at the end. If there is no GSM and no SMS, it means there's probably no internet and there is no communication, basically. So if people in our company know that if there is no GSM signal, if there is no power, or there are big issues going on in a city, those who are parts of the crisis management teams, members or managers, they know that they have to go to one of our, let's say, backup sites, but sites meaning where people can sit, can operate. They have a desk, they have a power, they have internet connection from there. So, as I said, this channel, SMS channel, and this communication tool allows us to manage this smaller or bigger disasters or other issues. And as I said, because SMS channel dies the last, that's why we chose it. And it's very effective. We operated for like 10 years already. Also, what we've done, we created so-called business continuity BCP mail, which is set on external infrastructure, and it's a copy of corporate mail kept somewhere outside our infrastructure. And our computers and mobile devices, they have 2 of these mailboxes configured for everybody. And now, if our main corporate email is down, because of some issues in data center, because in the same data centers where the other parts of our business is placed, also the corporate mail is there. After 1 hour, our mails, our DNSs are pointed to this BCP email exchange server, and nobody has to know that we have different email address writing to me. It will be delivered to my backup mail. And people also can, inside the company, we can communicate using this BCP mail. It was tested, it was created because we faced this issue that corporate mail was down for, I can't say for how long. Okay, and also another tool we delivered to ourselves, because we understood that if there is a problem disaster, smaller or bigger, the telephone and a voice call is not the best issue. Because of all the phones are busy, phones may not operate. It happened, basically. I will tell you in a second. So we used Skype, because Skype is very tough to kill. We used Skype, and a special Skype contact, where you can communicate during managing the crisis situation. These channels, these chat groups are set. There are different people contacting in this chat sets. And then at the end of the crisis, when we write the so-called post-mortem document to say what happened, how did it happen, who decided this and that, we also paste all these channel chats into this documentation to remember what was done, to build our own kind of memory how to fix similar issue in the future. And also, and it's actually this way of communication is very effective, especially when you have a problem with like managers of higher rank or the board. If there is somebody brave enough to teach your CEO to use Jabber or something like this, I mean, you have to be brave to try to explain how to use Unix Windows to chat with somebody. But Skype is well known by everybody. So even our top rank managers, they can quickly chat to certain rooms or to the coordinator, the one contact they know, and find out what's going on. We also keep a small site in an outside, external infrastructure where information from this coordinator Onet and Soya system are just fed, basically. And you can read the recent kind of situation. You have the recent reports, what's going on while we're managing this or that issue. And also there is all kinds of documents, including crisis management policy, all the telephone numbers, all the contacts, all the names of the crisis groups, and so on, so on. So you can read through and contact some managers, let's say managing databases, basically, if you want. You can find them and find out who is the head of the crisis management database admins, basically. And also, we feed there information about our major sites and its performance, how many page views is being served. So these graphs which are displayed there, if like our whole system is down, you see at what time the system went down, basically because your graphs will stop. They will not move because there is no new feed, basically. So we know where there were gaps, where the system was down, and so on and so on. We just monitor there also information about like network traffic and so on and so on. Okay, and let's say one of the last slides I want to show. It's just always dealing with this kind of issues in any company. You have to think, what are the threats? Which side you have to expect? Let's say the danger, the attack. It could be evil world. It's pretty simple. It could be some people inside the company who are insane. Or it could be simple human error. We suffered many times from human errors. We never suffered from insider threats, which is somebody doing something really bad from the inside. But trying to mitigate this, we try to do segregation of duties inside. Do not keep all the eggs in the one basket. For example, there is a server which is so-called transit server, where you have to SSH through inside the, let's say, private Onet cloud, but you have to pass through this server. And if you log in as root and getting through this server down to the master of puppets, which is organizing the cloud, you have to explain why you did this. What was the purpose that you did this, for example? Such a simple thing. In transactional systems, in financial systems, we also keep segregation of duties. So we are trying to make not possible, for example, to create an employee, to set him a salary, and to pay him, and this person do not exist. So to stop in put such privileges to one hand. And, well, because we buy many things, we sell the advert is sold, and also you can give some discount. So we keep track who is able to give the biggest discount ever, for example, and then accept the invoice and put everything through the, I'm sorry for my juicy speaking, who is able to, you know, change the discount, then accept the payment and hide this inside our systems, basically, and we don't know that there was a fraud, internal fraud, and somebody just say, some insider, give me the lower possible price. And more questions at the end, I will kind of try to ask you. Has any one of you thought about the situation that you will never go back home from this conference? Where you tested your home BCP plans. Do you know, and do you know, how can you tell that I'm not insane? How can you tell that in this black bag I do not carry a Kalashnikov? Right? What if I have Kalashnikov there? Is your family ready to lose you? Do they know what and how you pay for your VoIP telephone? Because I faced this issue. I mean, not me in my family, but I faced this. That it's very important, this simple plan, this simple information to be passed to your family, to your company, to organize when you die in a car crash, when you die in a terrorist attack. So it's good to think about it somehow. And about my black bag. This is Kalashnikov. Switched to a continuous fire. Does it sound right? So what now? Am I insane? Don't worry. This is real Kalashnikov. It says here that disarmed. Doesn't work. But what if I'm insane? That would be a clever news, isn't it? One day after the election, this news will probably kill the other news. So, anyway, we are part of Ringer Axel Springer. This is my email. We operate these sites and services. And if anybody has any questions, I'm ready. If somebody wants to hold Kalashnikov, feel free. Thank you.
So how often do you test your disaster recovery plan, and do you do it fully or just on paper? What kind of method do you use?
We do it every quarter, and it's real. We do not test like many companies used to test, because it's pretty simple. Many companies just test like whether they can reach people over the telephone, whether they ready to switch off something because the other part of the backup infrastructure is ready. We do it pretty severe. And there is somebody on this audience called Jędrzej, which is my friend and my colleague. And he's one of the guys who is really doing it. And this is not like so-called bullshit. We really do it.
How many iterations of backup switching a primary data center to backup data center, you must have to reporting to the management that is well designed, it works, and now we move to the testing phase every quarter.
If I understood you, I'm not really sure whether I understood the question. So,
how many time to spend to develop a full solution for this? What you do?
How long did it take to set up everything I was talking about? Right?
Yes.
Okay. So I would say it took 2 years, more or less.
And about daily testing, 1% of network traffic request. This is that the 1% is one service that you this day served by Amazon Cloud, or it is one of hundreds connection that you served for any services.
Jędrzej, so how we do it? Is he here? Okay, to be honest, I don't know. But, sorry that he's not here probably. Well, because every, let's say the crucial part of our data and elements of infrastructure is being replicated to Amazon, we can serve small amount of traffic to one of the major sites, right? But I'm sorry for that. I will ask Jędrzej again for another conference, because I'm not pretty sure about that.
What was the most issue about technical?
Rewriting services to one standard, basically, because they were, as you can imagine, if you operate on the market for 15 years, you have something pretty old and something medium old and something pretty new. And the biggest trouble is to turn everything into one, let's say, mode, basically. And especially because from time to time we buy some ready-made services. It was also an issue because we have to, let's say, redo somebody else's service and fit it into our world, basically.
How fast you're able to enroll all the services on Amazon AWS when something bad happens?
Well, our target is about 1 hour because it's impossible to do it quicker. But the truth is that it takes up to 2 if everything goes okay. But if don't, there are more or less trouble going along.
And because I understood that basically all the traffic right now, a certain percentage, like 1 or 10%, is going directly to AWS. So isn't the availability like 99.8 even higher potentially, because their servers are running all the time? So normally, assuming redundancy of servers and so on, you should be able to get even better availability. Well,
but this is the real figure we are showing, and basically because this is the total of everything we serve, and because, for example, Poczta or Sympatia has several, it goes in tens, I would say, sometimes weekly small changes, which are bits and pieces are just changed as a code, and it's deployed to the services. From time to time, we have to withdraw the change, and it creates more or less trouble with certain service. Certain service is maybe visible as online and available for the users, but we know that it was not. It was only served from cache, basically. So that's why for us, this figure means that we knew that the service was, let's say, not editable as a front page for some minutes or hours, whereas the end user will not even notice there is anything wrong with it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.